The Buddha cares for a sick monk. Illness is not shameful. One day, the Buddha was walking through the monks' living quarters with Ananda attending him. They came to a dwelling where a monk was lying seriously ill. The Vinaya says that he was suffering from dysentery. He was too weak to care for himself and lay soiled in his own urine and excrement. No attendant was with him. The Buddha went closer and asked what illness he had. The monk answered that he had dysentery. The Buddha asked whether anyone was looking after him. The monk said no. Then the Buddha asked why the other monks were not caring for him. The sick monk gave a painful answer. He had not done anything for the other monks, so they did not care for him. Care had become an exchange. If someone had been useful, perhaps help would be returned. If not, that person might be left alone. The Buddha did not accept that calculation. He turned to Ananda and said, "Bring water, Ananda. We will wash this monk." Ananda brought the water. The Buddha poured it over the sick monk while Ananda cleaned his body. Then the Buddha took the monk from one end and Ananda from the other. Together they lifted him and placed him on a bed. The Vinaya records physical work. Water had to be brought. A body had to be washed. A weak man had to be lifted. A clean place had to be prepared. The Buddha did not stand at a distance and tell someone else to handle an unpleasant task. He began the care himself. The monk's body was dirty. His dignity was not. Illness had taken away his ability to manage ordinary bodily functions, but it had not made him less worthy of care. A person does not become morally smaller because the body becomes weak. A person does not lose value because someone else must wash them. Yet illness can make people feel exactly that way. Someone who once moved freely may suddenly need help standing. Someone who was independent may need another person to clean a bed, bring medicine, or prepare food. People may think, "I should be able to do this myself. I do not want anyone to see me like this." But the Buddha's action gives a different answer. When the monk could not wash himself, the answer was water in hands. When he could not lift himself, the answer was that two people lifted him. After the monk had been cleaned and settled, the Buddha gathered the community. He asked whether there was a sick monk in that dwelling. The monks said there was. He asked whether anyone was attending him. They said no. Then he asked why. The monks gave the same answer. The sick monk had not done anything for them, so they did not look after him. The Buddha reminded them that those who had left household life no longer had their mothers and fathers there to care for them. If they did not care for one another, who would? Then he gave the teaching closely associated with this story. Whoever would attend on me should attend on the sick. This changes the meaning of devotion. The Buddha connected service to himself with care for someone lying ill and unable to repay anyone. Respect for the teacher was not separated from responsibility toward the vulnerable member of the community. The standard was no longer, "What has this monk done for us?" The standard became, "Does this monk need care?" The Buddha did not ask the sick monk to prove his usefulness. He washed him first. That order is important. There are moments when care must come before evaluation. The Vinaya then makes responsibility more concrete. If the sick monk has a preceptor, the preceptor should care for him. If he has a teacher, student, pupil, or fellow trainee connected through the same teacher, those relationships carry responsibility. And if no such person is available, the Sangha itself must care for the sick monk. Failure to provide that care is treated as an offense. Care was therefore not left entirely to personal kindness. It became part of the structure of the community. So the Buddha's instruction does not depend only on emotion. It assigns responsibility. This does not mean that one caregiver must carry everything alone. The point is that responsibility must not disappear. Someone needs to know whether medicine is being taken. Someone needs to notice whether the patient is getting worse. Someone needs to clean what the patient cannot clean. A community becomes trustworthy when these tasks do not vanish simply because they are uncomfortable. The Vinaya also describes qualities connected with the sick person and the caregiver. A sick person can make care more effective by cooperating with what supports recovery, taking appropriate medicine, and reporting symptoms truthfully. If the condition is worse, the caregiver needs to know. If it is improving, that should be said honestly too. If there is no change, that also matters. This is not a test that decides whether someone deserves care. The monk at the beginning of the story was helped before any such test was applied. The point is practical. Care works better when the person receiving it can participate honestly as far as their condition allows. Illness can make people hide information because they are embarrassed or do not want to worry anyone. But saying, "I am in more pain today," or "I cannot manage this alone," can be part of responsible care. Asking for help does not mean that a person has failed. Sometimes it is simply an accurate response to what the body can and cannot do today. The Vinaya also describes a capable caregiver. The caregiver should know how to handle medicine. They should understand what is helpful and harmful for the patient. They should care with goodwill rather than for material gain. They should not recoil from cleaning excrement, urine, saliva, or vomit. And they should know how to encourage the sick person with Dharma at an appropriate time. This is remarkably practical. Compassion is not only a feeling. Good intentions are not enough if the caregiver ignores symptoms or cannot tolerate the physical reality of illness. Care needs kindness, but it also needs competence. It needs patience with repetitive tasks. It sometimes requires doing what most people would rather avoid. A patient may vomit. A patient may lose control of the bladder or bowels. A patient may need help eating or bathing. Dignity cannot depend on pretending that bodies never become difficult. The caregiver's task is not to make the patient feel ashamed for having a body that is failing to cooperate. It is to preserve cleanliness, comfort, safety, and respect as much as possible. The Vinaya also says that encouragement should come at the proper time. That qualification matters. A sick person does not always need a speech. Sometimes pain is too strong. Sometimes the person needs rest. Sometimes the most compassionate thing is simply to bring water or sit quietly. Spiritual words become care only when they meet the condition of the person receiving them. This story also helps distinguish pity from care. Pity can remain at a distance. Care crosses the distance. It asks what needs to be done and then enters the work. The Buddha did not merely feel compassion for the monk. He helped wash him. That physical action matters because illness is physical. A body that cannot clean itself needs more than a beautiful idea. Many people are comfortable helping others but become deeply uncomfortable when the direction reverses. They may believe that being the helper makes them strong and being the patient makes them weak. But human life does not preserve those roles permanently. The caregiver of today may become the patient of tomorrow. A healthy community understands that these roles can change without changing a person's worth. No one can guarantee permanent health. Mutual care is recognition that any person may one day need the hands of another. The sick monk was abandoned because others judged him through contribution. The Buddha interrupted that logic. A person can need care before they have earned gratitude. A person can need care even when they may never be able to repay it. The story does not ask us to pretend that caregiving is easy. Long illness can strain time, sleep, patience, and emotion. Caregivers themselves need support. Shared responsibility matters because compassion can wear down when one person is left to carry everything. The Vinaya distributes responsibility through relationships and finally through the Sangha. That protects the sick person from abandonment and also helps prevent care from becoming one person's invisible burden. There is quiet dignity in the fact that the story does not end with a miraculous cure. The monk is washed and placed on a bed. The teaching is given. The illness itself is not magically removed. That is important. The point is not that compassion guarantees recovery. Sometimes a person is cared for and remains sick. Care is not a bargain in which kindness purchases a cure. Its value is also present while illness remains. The body can still hurt. But the person does not have to be abandoned. The body can still be weak. But the person can be clean, heard, accompanied, and treated with respect. That may not remove disease. It removes another layer of suffering, being left alone because one has become inconvenient. The sick monk did not need to become useful before the Buddha approached him. He did not need to apologize for the condition of his body. He did not have to promise future service. He needed care, and the Buddha began there. That gives us a simple question for our own lives. When someone becomes weak, do we first ask what they deserve? Or do we first ask what they need? See the person. Do not make illness into shame. Do not make dependence into failure. Do not make past usefulness the price of present care. And if you are the one who is sick, do not assume that needing another person's help has reduced your worth. Your body may require care that it did not require yesterday. That is a condition of the body, not a verdict on your character. Today, may those who are sick be able to speak about their pain without shame. May those who care for them have the patience, skill, and support needed to continue. May no one be forgotten simply because they cannot give anything back. And may we remember that sometimes the deepest form of respect is very ordinary. Bringing water, cleaning what another person cannot clean, lifting someone who cannot rise, and staying near enough that illness does not become abandonment.